Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Thursday, June 1st, the first day of June. How exciting. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. We is me, Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, and he is Mark Talercio, the executive producer of my life and co-host of this program. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Hello. I am well. June. My goodness, already half the year gone.
Would you say that the springtime is a favorite season of yours or not so much? Like, what's your preference?
Let me rank them for you, okay?
Okay, let's go. Four. We only got 4 to go, so let's do it.
That's right. Number 1 is fall. Number 2 is winter. Number 3 is spring. And number 4 is summer. Wow.
You don't like the summer?
I don't like the heat. I don't like the humidity. I don't like the stench in New York City.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm sort of fall, winter, summer, spring.
Okay, so not too different.
Not too different, but a little, I do like hot, but I don't like hot for the girls, my doggies, because it is too hot for them and they're very close to the ground. You know, that's a whole other thing. So I'm sensitive to that. If it were just me, I would probably say summer might be tight. I think I probably would say winter. I do like winter a lot.
Do you want to do the seasons in Italian? Do you know how to say the 4 seasons in Italian?
No. Let's say fall.
Autunno.
Autunno. Winter.
Inverno.
Inverno. And let's do spring.
Primavera.
Oh, pasta primavera. And summer.
Estate.
Estate. Ete. If you are doing the French. If you've got a financial question, we'd love to hear from you. Just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and you can complete a form. If you want to join us on the program, you check the little box that says you would like to join us live on the air. While you're on the website, you can buy my book, The Great Money Reset. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. This is the book that provides you with 10 bold steps to turn chaos into opportunity, a framework for making changes in your life. We encourage you to check that out and to subscribe to our brand new service. It's called Jill on Money Live. This is where you have access to quarterly live webinars. So our first one was with Ed Slott. Video, people participated. It was totally fun. We're going to do another one at the end of this month with Dave Stachowiak, Coaching for Leaders, going to help you better manage your work life and really, I think, become happier in your role at work, which I think he's so great at. And we also put up very special interviews that are extras with cool guests. So we're going to have a guy who writes for Consumer Reports, and we're going to talk about autos because he's an automobile editor. How great is that? So we're going to talk about the crazy car market. I'm so bummed out, Mark. You know why?
Something to do with electric vehicles? Why?
Yes, exactly. Because as you know, I've been waiting to buy an electric vehicle until my car ends up dying, which, has 100,000 miles. Could happen, soonish or not so soon. Then there's this big article about how Hyundai, who has been a sponsor of our podcast and other things, I had my eye on the Hyundai. And guess what? There's a big article all about Hyundai's now the new hot EV out there. I think it was in the Wall Street Journal. And now I feel very angry because other people are going to discover the thing that I really wanted to do.
That's how I feel about Bullet bourbon. I was on to Bullet long before it became mainstream, and now it's completely jumped the shark.
Yeah, I remember that. You were a Bullet all of the bourbons have been seeing huge price increases. This is crazy. Totally crazy. So, okay. What else can I tell you, Mark? Anything else that I need to promote?
You did what you did. Jill on Money Live. You did the Great Money Reset.
I got it all. And our free stuff that's always on the website. So that means it's time to talk to our listener. This is Zach, who's on the line from Missouri. Zach, what is on your mind? How can we help you out today?
Yeah, I love it. Thanks so much for having me on. My wife and I are young. I'm 33 and 32, or I'm 33. My wife's 32. And we're finally at a spot where we think we can make some good financial progress. And so our question really was, where do we start? Since we're kind of both coming out of grad school, both just getting on our feet. So I think we feel very far behind.
Oh, come on. You're 33 years old. How far behind could you be?
Sure.
Zach, do you say you're 33 and 32? Do you have kids?
We do. We have two kids. They are 3 and 1. They are probably both about to be 4 and 2 in the next couple months.
Okay. Are you guys both working full time?
Yes.
Okay. How much do you guys earn?
Well, so I earn about 52, and my wife is just starting her new job, and she will probably be making 60 or 70 at least
All
as
right,
well.
let's say 60 just for the heck of it. Do you currently use a retirement account?
I do have one through my job. It's a 403B. This is only my third year in the position, so there's like 10,000 in there.
Is there a match or is it just straight up your contribution?
There is a match. It's 3%.
Do you know how much you're contributing?
I'm contributing 3%. That's
Okay, so you're just
yeah.
contributing up to the match. Will your wife have a retirement account available to her?
They actually do not currently, but we've asked about that, and they said they're trying to get that started.
Okay. Do you guys have any other money that you've put aside for retirement?
We have not right now. Yeah, just living off my own income for the past 3 or 4 years.
So this will be a big change for you guys to have
Exactly,
both of
yeah.
you working. That's great. How about money in savings?
Also, barely anything. I think we have I know we have 2,500 just to cover the bare necessities in case my job dropped out from under me.
And how about where you live? Do you rent or do you own?
We currently rent.
What's the rent?
It is 1,100.
Is that good for you guys? Like, is it working for you? Or do you have a feeling of like, oh, we really want to buy, or is it good right now?
I think we're pretty comfortable right now. I mean, we would love to buy, but I do think things like 529s, 401ks, emergency funds, debt payoff will probably come first.
Debt
our
payoff.
priority.
Tell us more about the debt. What do you have outstanding? Is there some student loans?
Yeah, thankfully that's all we have. We have 18,500 left on student loans, and that is at 6.5%. And thankfully they've been paused.
Okay, so that's all federal, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, if there is student loan forbearance, if the Supreme Court comes back and says, sure, are you guys going to be eligible for that?
Yes, my wife and I both had Pell Grants actually through college.
So essentially, this could get wiped out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Are you freaking? Tell me the truth.
Yes and no. I mean, it would be super nice, but we're also not trying to get our hopes too high up.
I know. It's true. I think you're being smart. So if we think about the future, when will your wife actually start?
Really on Monday.
Oh my gosh. So we're really getting her straight away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
have you guys tracked how much money you spend?
Yes, we spend basically $5,000 a month.
So how have you been able to manage just on your income? Did you spend down savings? Did she work a little bit while she was in school? How did that work?
Yeah, a mix of everything. A little bit of our spend down on savings that we did have. We did do things like Shipt on the side, super infrequently. But she was, as an intern, as a counselor, it kind of reminded me of like residency for medical school, where she did get some money, but it was like $750 a month.
Yes, go to Starbucks and have lunch. Thank you.
Yeah,
much. All right, here's a little bit of extra stuff that we want to know about. Do you guys have estate documents? Do you have wills? Do you have power of attorney? Like if something happened to you guys together, what would happen to your kids?
We do, thanks to your show. After this past month of listening, we got on that.
I love that. You mean you've just been listening for a month? I'm so psyched that you took the initiative and wrote us. That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so how about life insurance? Do you guys have a policy for each of you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. We had there's probably about 25 years left on that for each of us. We each have one, and it's $500,000.
All right. So in the introduction, you sort of said, well, we got to think about, we have this money and 529 plans. So Mark, where should Zach and his wife start their fabulous cash flow adventure? Because literally their lives are about to change in days.
First and foremost, the priority, because he said like $2,500 is basically what they have right now in savings. So I think that emergency reserve should be the priority. He said they spend, $5,000 a month. So in a perfect world, you want to get that up to around 30,000, I would say.
Yep. So number one priority, Zach, all the money that's coming in, I know you want to like go out and play, but as much as you can, once your wife's, again, she's her money is going to start kicking into your cash flow, right? And then all of a sudden there's going to be a I would actually direct deposit her check into your savings account. And we are trying to get you to about 30 grand. And I think that's number one thing to do. Now, you may not be able to do as much if in a month from now we're talking and you say, okay, well, the student loan clock is going to restart. Now, it's going to start 3 months after that, I think. So once we have a decision, then it's another 3 months, I believe, that you'll be getting. So even if you do have to start paying, the first thing we really want you to do is just accumulate as much of that 30 grand as we can as quickly as you can. All right. Number two, whatever student loan payment you have to make and accelerate that, because it's 6.5% is like a real number in terms of an interest rate. Okay. All right. Now, number three, I think this is when we start to do retirement. So do you have a Roth option through work or not?
We don't.
Okay. So number three is what we'll do is we have her open a Roth IRA. Okay. Because she doesn't have a retirement account. And you're going to automatically put away a certain amount of money into that Roth IRA. Mark, what should we do on the Roth IRA? $1,000 a month? Just bang it out?
Yeah. Once everything's paid off, they'll be able to swing that. No problem.
All right. So then she opens the Roth IRA. You can do it at Vanguard. You can do it at Fidelity, wherever you have any sort of, where's your 403B held?
Honestly, it's not one of the major three.
Okay. So, you can do it at any of these places, Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, T. Rowe Price, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade. I don't care. Wherever you can do it cheap is really where I care about. And then you are going to slowly start putting more money into your retirement account. And, you can put up to a big chunk of money, and we're not going to get there immediately, but, you can put $22,500. That's not happening this year. But, let's see how things roll.
I don't even know, okay, emergency reserves in place, student loan debt is gone, wife is maxing out her Roth IRA. His plan doesn't sound great. There's no Roth option. So I would put in 3%, get the 3% match. Then I would open up a Roth IRA for himself, max that out. And then instead of increasing within the 401k, I would probably just open up a brokerage account. It doesn't sound like it's a good plan. And there's no Roth option.
Yeah. So that's a great idea, Mark. I agree with you. You've convinced me. So I think that you're right, that instead of putting more into your 403B, unless they make a Roth option, but even so, if it's a rotten plan and we don't have great choices, then it doesn't really matter. So then we have emergency reserve, number one, debt pay down, number two, wife opens a Roth IRA, number three. If you can afford cash flow, you open a Roth IRA at the same time. Okay. And you could just keep putting the match in. If there's money beyond that, though, then the question is let's just pretend it's this year and you can do this, right? And you're putting in your $6,500 each into your Roths, and there's extra money. Now, the question I have is, should we put that extra money into new 529 plans for the kids or create a brokerage plan for them? Because you mentioned 529s, and I know that that's, it's a priority for you. I think just to get you guys established and on your feet, I think to do a little bit of both is good, and see also what happens with the kids and how they develop. And, if you decide later, wow, I'm making a lot of money, she's making a lot of money, life's good. Maybe we can do a lot more into the 529. Maybe we'll take some of the money in the brokerage account and push it into the 529. We can make that decision later. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. Now, these kids right now, I know they're only 1 and 3 today, but do you live in a place where you can send them to private school, or are we thinking about public school for, for grade school and middle school and high school?
Good question. I mean, currently where our apartment is, we could probably do elementary school. It's pretty good in elementary school, but after that, we would need to probably move.
Yeah. I mean, I guess one of the reasons I'm asking that question is that if you have to move and you have a brokerage account, then we could also use that sort of a little bit of both things, like a future funding account that's not like today, but if it's 5 years from now, maybe that would be something that you could use for a house down payment. And it sounds like for you guys that you have a big upward trajectory in terms of your earnings, right? I mean, you're so young, you're starting out. Let's give you as much flexibility in your planning as we possibly can. And to that end, I guess I wonder, because you said your wife is, in health services, is it possible she does go into business for herself, do you think?
At this point, no, although
Okay.
I think she would be great at it.
Really? I mean, listen, it's not for everybody. And do you feel like for your own income, do you feel like there's a big upside, or are you in a place where you're like, oh, I'm kind of going to make what I'm going to make with, small increases annually?
Maybe more in the middle. I don't think it'll necessarily be small increases. There's definitely room for growth, but there is more of a ceiling. I generally work in like nonprofit youth area. So I'm kind of at the bottom of the totem pole, but there's also ceilings to nonprofits. So
I know. And also lots of fighting and not a lot of money.
yeah.
All of that fighting and no money to boot. They fight so much because the stakes are so low. No, I mean, the stakes are high often, but it's a rough go in the nonprofit land. I know that. I think you guys sound like you're in good shape. Does that help you understand priority wise what, kind of like where you should look at the next few years?
Yeah, I think that's great. That was kind of the question, is like, do I do like 500 to debt, 500 to emergency fund, and, spread them all out across, or just kind of go all in on, a certain particular order? So that was really helpful.
Oftentimes people will contact us in situations like yours and you say, oh, I feel like I'm behind. Like, you're really young. You've got a great future ahead of you. And I think that if we can help you focus, sometimes, I mean, I understand the idea of putting a little bit here and there, like this idea of buckets almost. That's a concept that people talk about. I like doing one thing at a time. And I think if you're hyper focused and you're like, okay, there's 30 grand in the emergency reserve fund, bang, let's go and pay down the student loan debt. I think it's sort of easier to do one thing at a time, because then you really feel like you make progress and you celebrate that progress and you move to the next thing.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. It's a little behavioral crap that I throw around every now and again. I don't know if it works, but I hope it does. All right. If you, like Zach, have a financial question and you have a question of priorities, whether you're young and starting out, but you might be older and have different priorities that we can help you with, go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. We'll get your note. And if you'd like to come on the air, just make sure you check that box. While you're on the website, don't forget to check out all the great content that lives there. Mark really is doing an amazing job. Mark is now going to be the web king because Karen is leaving us. We're so sad. On to bolder and better things for Miss Karen, and we wish her the best of luck, but she's with us a little bit longer. Don't forget, you can sign up for our new service, Jill on Money Live, on our website. So he is Mark Talercio. He's the co-host, executive producer. He is a web king in training. The current queen, long live the queen, is Karen Kranick. She is our web queen. We're distributed by Paramount Global. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.